All right, guys. Good morning. It's a tough day today, that's for sure, because it should be the Colin Selby, Keegan Aiken, Ramon Arias game. All three of them, man, they did their part yesterday, that's for sure. Arias hits the home run to tie it. I think Aiken and Selby combined for like 8 strikeouts and three in the third. I mean, just unbelievable performance from both of them. And then it's just all over. It's a 3-0 pitch in the ninth inning, and Dominguez serves it up. Game over. Orioles lose. We don't really have time. I don't think anybody wants to feel sorry for themselves in general. I think people that do feel sorry for themselves, it's like something they fell into and they can't get out of it. It's not fun to feel sorry for yourself. Just not. And um, yeah, the Padres Twins game right after that one doesn't go my way. So I'm like, my goodness gracious, how do we get back on the right track? Like, I don't even want to spend time recapping last night's Orioles game, frankly, because it's so black and white. There's nothing really to recap. You're going to lose games. It's going to happen. It just is such a bad timing. And we came all the way back. It just felt like an important game. Burns is yelling at the ump. You could just tell the just everybody's a little bit on edge, and it would have felt like a great win. And then for me, I start off on fire with the Padres, I get a fresh look at it, feel good about my opinion. Then the record proves it out. And now here we are, and I can't get out of my own way. Just whatever button I'm pushing is the wrong button. And yeah, we've all been there, whether it's gambling or something in life where it's just not going the right way. And how do you switch it? You got to do something to switch it. You can't just do the same things over and over again. So this Padres team, I got to do a deep dive today. I got to figure out how I started off on fire over 70% and now getting right back to 50%. So that's my homework for today. And as far as the Orioles, it hasn't been fun to be a fan in a minute. Yeah, it was not fun yesterday. Rogers, I mean, he's okay, but when you're down 2-0, it just makes the game kind of deflating. And you just got to get back on track tonight. It is what it is. It really is. I hate that saying a lot of times. It is what it is because it feels like that's what people say when they don't have anything better to say. But I think it's an okay saying when it's just negative stuff and you're having a hard time figuring out the right words. So you just have to say it is what it is. And we play baseball today. I'm going to spend a minute or two. I'm leaning towards another pick here for the NFL as my research is amping up. One decision that was made yesterday in the NFC East is what I'm going to make my firm picks on either tomorrow or Thursday because I've already dived into the Eagles. I'm beginning the Cowboys, Giants, and Commanders, and I focus more on the Commanders over the weekend. And then I assumed Daniels was going to be the quarterback, their rookie, but they announced yesterday that Jaden Daniels is going to be the quarterback. The Commanders have a really interesting roster. The thing that I'm a little unsure about is the hierarchy, is the leadership, the identity. But they've done some interesting things. And if you look at the roster, if you just blindly look at the rosters and you didn't look at the teams, I think you would put the Commanders in the better half of the NFL. I think their roster from top to bottom is pretty solid. And now that they have the rookie quarterback, they can afford that, right? Like the way the NFL works, as long as you don't pay your quarterback, you can have a really good team around them. That's why the Texans should be really good this year. Um, yeah. So the Commanders, what's up with them? They have new owner. So everything's new with them. They have a new owner, new general manager, new head coach, new offensive coordinator. What I want to talk about is the head coach and the offensive coordinator because if they're on the same page and the balance of power is in check, I think the Commanders could sneak into the playoffs because the head coach, Dan Quinn, was the Cowboys coordinator last year. He's been a head coach before with the Falcons. Remember, he took that Falcons team, would have won the Super Bowl if they didn't blow that lead to the Patriots. So he knows what he's doing. He came from Seattle. I thought he made the most. Hold on one second. I'm just double checking something here. I thought he made the most out of that Cowboys defense last year. Yeah, he's 53. I thought for a second he was a little bit younger than that. But yeah, he's 53. He's been around. The Cowboys defense, it overperformed last year, even though they were terrible in that Packers playoff game. A lot of that was Dak throwing interceptions. So he gets the head coaching job. Now, the interesting thing about him getting the head coaching job is the offensive coordinator is Kingsbury, Cliff Kingsbury, who was the head coach for Arizona. He coached Kyler Murray. He wants to be a head coach, right? Like that's what he wants. So he gets this job as the offensive coordinator. And by all accounts, if you read just NFL people and different stories throughout the offseason. If he turns this Commanders offense into a juggernaut, and it doesn't probably even have to be a juggernaut, but a successful offense, he'll get another head coaching job. Dan Quinn has to know that deep down. Excuse me. I think it's going to work because Quinn had Shanahan in Atlanta. So it's the same dynamic. Some guys have an ego where they have to call the shots. They're in charge. They're calling the shots for better or for worse. That's the way it is in San Francisco and Los Angeles with Shanahan and McVay. That's the way it is in Miami. We talked about them yesterday with McDaniel. That's not the case in Washington. Dan Quinn is like, I'm the defensive coach. I'm the head coach, but I'm really the defensive coordinator, and you get to run my offense. That's what happened with Kyle Shanahan in the Super Bowl, and it worked all the way until the Super Bowl to be up 28-3. And then I'm sure Dan Quinn has thought about, man, maybe I should have just taken control over the play calling in that third and fourth quarter and run the football so Brady doesn't have to win a Super Bowl and all that jazz. But yeah, so I assume that Kingsbury gets full control over the offense, gets to do whatever he wants, and now that Quinn has more experience under him, managing the game, managing players, managing people, I think it's a good dynamic. I think the Commanders have a pretty soft schedule. Their first game is going to be, to me, that first game, if they won the first week, that would signal that they're going to make the playoffs. Now, they can lose the first week and still have a successful season, but that first week is at Tampa. And you're going to, every time I do like top five, I always think to myself, is it really top five or they're like 6 or 7? So I was about to say Todd Bowles is a top 5 defensive mind. Probably is. He's done a great job with that Bucks team, and he gets a whole offseason to prepare for a rookie quarterback. So the Bucks defense it won't be a cupcake, won't be a cakewalk for Daniels. I think it's going to be very challenging for him. If he somehow looks mature there and gets over the hump. So remember, Stroud was lost against the Ravens, but there was like a flash or two last year in that week 1 where you're like, oh, that was a pretty good play. So even though the Texans, barely scored, we beat them handily, there was a flash or two from Stroud where it wasn't shocking that the Texans ended up getting it together. I think that's what I'm expecting from Daniels. We'll see if they actually win the game, but I like the Washington roster. I like what they've done at their skill position spots. So as soon as I finish the Cowboys and the Giants, I will make my firm picks there for the NFC East because I'm down on the Eagles, but I'm pretty high there on the Commanders. So looking forward to doing that tomorrow. Not going to blab too much today because just feels a little bit redundant here with the way things are going with the Orioles, and I got to get myself going here with the Padres. I just do. So I'm gonna wrap it up here. I'm working on a few things. Exciting news to come next week as we're adding people to the team, getting ready for football season. So yeah, if you have any questions, if there's anything, if you haven't been listening for the past couple of months and you just popped in now, any questions about anything, just shoot me a text. You can call me, email me. I am available. And yeah, let's find a way to get back on track. I hope everybody has a good day, and I'll see you guys in the morning.